Red Sox legend David Ortiz is back in Boston and recovering at Mass General after he was shot in the back while at a nightclub in his home city in the Dominican Republic over the weekend. The news has reverberated through Red Sox Nation and the Dominican community. And as Tina Martin tells us here in Boston, fans in every corner of the city are rooting for Big Papi's recovery.
Fans at Fenway Park for last night's game had Big Papi in mind as the former slugger recovers from a gunshot wound.
I don't know how anyone could do something so awful to someone who's done so much for the Dominican Republic and just life in general.
Seeing Papi in looked like what was a restaurant or a bar or something, and just the guy walking up to him and shooting him, it's kind of scary, yeah.
I was terribly horrified when that actually happened. I wish the best for luck for him.
The shooting at a bar in the Dominican Republic was caught on video. Doctors say the bullet, fired at close range, damaged Ortiz's liver and intestines.
You saw that news last night? I did. David Ortiz got shot.
The news is especially troubling for people in the local Dominican community.
That my country, that's the real problem.
Barber Jose Resto says violence seems to be getting worse.
We don't have any government, nobody respect nobody.
I go there all the time, and it's very safe.
Alexander Peralta's family owns an Airbnb in the Dominican Republic. He worries not only about the impact of Ortiz's shooting, but other recent high-profile cases of tourists being hurt and even dying at Dominican resorts.
I feel bad, but I also know it's not a common thing for it to happen in the Dominican Republic. There are a lot of other places who are much more violent.
A study published last year in the Journal of the American Medical Association indicates gun violence in the Dominican Republic is about the same as in the United States, something Peralta, who travels back and forth to the country at least 3 times a year, hopes people will keep in mind.
Dominican people are resilient, they're happy people, we're welcoming, we love the tourists, and these things are not happening at an everyday basis.
And Tina Martin is with me now. Hey, Tina.
Hey
Good
there.
to see you. It's been a little while.
You too.
So what is the latest as we talk right now on David Ortiz's condition?
So his wife, Tiffany, issued a statement saying that he had successfully made it through a second surgery at Mass General. He's resting, and he is in stable condition in the ICU for a few more days.
Is the impression that you have that he is out of harm's way right now? Because initially we were told no, serious damage. Then it sounded like it was a lot worse than people thought. But it sounds like he is going to survive this, right?
It sounds like it. And from her statement, she said that he's awake, he's alert, he's resting comfortably. So those are all good signs.
I hadn't known until you and I were talking before the show that Ortiz already had this tight bond with MGH. Tell me a little more, and apparently I missed Greater Boston the night that your piece ran, but tell me a little more about this bond he has with the hospital and the work he does there.
Sure. So he started the David Ortiz Children's Fund years ago, and so that basically is funding some life-saving surgeries for children, and they're really cardiac-based at Mass General in the pediatrics department.
Is this kids from the DR or...?
It is. It's kids from the DR, Dominican Republic, and it's also kids here in New England. Essentially anybody who comes to, MGH, a child, and their parents can't afford the surgery. Yeah.
There have been now half a dozen mysterious deaths in the Dominican Republic. This is obviously super high profile. Do you think this is going to put a damper on American travel to the island?
So far, no signs of that. We talked to a spokesperson for AAA Travel who said that they don't have any signs that people are backing out of trips. They're still booking trips to Santo Domingo and Punta Cana. But the U.S. State Department did in April issue a travel advisory to the DR. So they're advising people to be, vigilant, to be careful, travel in groups, stay on the resorts, and not
don't avoid it entirely, but be smart.
Absolutely.
All right, one final question for you. As this coverage is played out, I've gotten the impression that in Boston we might actually underestimate how important David Ortiz is to his home country. What is his what's an equivalent to David Ortiz the way they think about him in the Dominican?
I would compare him to a Muhammad Ali, a Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, just really connected to the community.
That's pretty lofty company. Okay, Tina Martin, thank you. Good to talk to you as always.
You too.